So a couple of people have gotten in touch with me about the pens that I use and how well they work. And you might remember from yesterday's blog that I said that I needed to take the box off of grocery list making and meal planning because I realized it's not an onerous task for me. This gave me the opportunity to appreciate that it's something I really enjoy. So I thought I'd show you all then how neat these erasable pens are. At the very tip of the pens there's it's like a hard, hard rubbery, not soft like a regular pencil eraser. And what it actually does is create friction because it's the heat that actually removes the ink from your page. That is just how easy it is. Yep, it's as simple as that. The only downside to these, I was reading reviews when I was reading about the pens, and there's the brand name for you. I was reading that from some reviewers that if the paper that you write on is exposed to heat, that you end up losing the ink. And that makes sense, because if it's heat that activates the disappearance of the ink, obviously, heat could affect it. But I did a lot of research on that. It ends up that the heat would have to be something where you took your page and sat it in bright, direct sunlight for an extremely long time. And the heat really has to rise to a degree where, okay, I might not use erasable ink on something. For instance, I was going to leave, for some unknown reason, on the visor of my car where the sun would hit it that bright, or any place where the heat would get well over 100 degrees. I think the disappearance point was somewhere in the upper 100s. So, working in my journal or working in my book of shadows, they're not ever going to be subjected to that kind of heat. And I read that these are very common in Asia, in China and Japan. I guess the culture there permits the use of inks and allows for more of a perfection in the end result, where we're more willing here in the West to be messy, I suppose. But oftentimes you'll order these, and I do order mine from Amazon, and they will come with some pretty colorful packaging, where the writing itself seems artwork to me. So I wanted to share this with you and show you just how easy they are to work with and how easy they are to erase. And one more thing I wanted to share about the Frisian pens. The colored ones are narrow, so if you have arthritis or difficulties with your hands, they might be a little bit difficult for you to hold. I'm doing okay with them, but when my hands are acting up, because I do get inflammation sometimes with the lupus, they're not so easy to hold. But the writing pens are, let me get some light here, in the shade, there we go, they're a little thicker, a little easier to hold. That's the little nub on the end that you create the heat to erase with. So the actual writing pens, which you can get in packs, I think they come in packs of 2 usually, but you buy the replacement ink cartridges, so you're not buying the pen again over and over. You can't get replacement cartridges for the colored inks. You do have to buy new pens. I haven't had to worry about that yet because I haven't run out yet, but the I think for both black and maybe even for blue writing pens, you can buy the cartridges to refill them. So they're kind of like any pen refill. You just slip them in the tube. So I wanted to point out to you that the for writing, especially if you need a wider pen, the grip on these is actually much more comfortable because it's thicker. And of course, if I put the end on it, I could make it even thicker. I don't tend to do that because then I can't. I'm always taking it on and off to erase. And the interesting thing is, when you know that you have an eraser, it's amazing you make a lot less messiness. I don't know why that works that way, but it does. If I pick up a ballpoint pen now, it seems like I make a lot of mistakes. But if I pick up my erasable pen, it seems I make less mistakes. Yeah, that's human quirkiness, I suppose. There you go, the difference in the pens for those who are, because there's been a lot of interest in the pens. And if any of you end up buying them, I'd love to know how they work out for you, because I wouldn't be recommending them if I didn't really... My socks were blown off by my experience with them, so I wanted to share. So while I am doing my morning journaling, see what I mean about how wonderful the light is here? Oh, I feel like I'm floating here on my desk. So as I'm journaling, I made an observation in yesterday's video, I think a parking lot at the grocery store epiphany. I mentioned that it's about one little thing, and we start to notice it's about one little lesson, the things we learn in a day's time. This morning as I was journaling, I was thinking that doing these one little thing lists, especially since I was concerned when I first started that I would actually judge myself on what was not done. And I'm finding that that is completely not my relationship to them. If that had become my relationship to them, I would have thought about a different way of capturing the moments of the day. But I wrote in my journal just now that when I look at the day before, I add the things that I did that obviously weren't on my list, or the experiences that arose, time with friends or taking a walk, the things that weren't something I particularly planned for. Then when I step back and I look at the day before, that it's and you'll know where I got this reference from, I have stepping back to observe the little minutes, the little moments in my life, is an I see you relationship with my life. A very good thing. It's a chance to reflect on awareness. I guess there's awareness as we go through the day, what we're doing or not doing, and why we're doing it, or we're not doing it. And then there's a chance to reflect on that. I guess in the end to really experience if we are living in full awareness or not. And even just doing this for, I guess I started doing it a little bit before I shared it with you all. Even in the time I've been doing it, I really can look at myself and say, I see you. It's really been helpful in a lot of ways. It's brought a rhythm back to my life, which it does mundane things, like making sure that I have time to catch up with email correspondence, making sure that I have time to watch videos, because if I'm going to be engaged in part of the community, it's not going to be at my convenience and be someone who puts a lot of stuff out there but doesn't remain engaged with others. And that has to do with being able to make comments and replies to those who comment on my videos, and also to be present to the videos that other people create. So it can be something as mundane as that, or getting the things done that are in the boxes on my list. But it has really been a great opportunity to look at myself. One of the things I'm noticing is I probably wasn't as disengaged from life as I thought I was during the struggles I was experiencing. I think I probably became hyper engaged with this life, the one right around me. And maybe not so much, actually hardly at all, the wider possibilities of my life when it came to my relationships with others. When I went to record this, the first recording of the day, I set up the tripod and got the camera ready and turned it on, and nothing happened because I got that warning that there was no media in my camera. I didn't have the memory card in, it was in my computer. So I put in my journal, there is no media. Because if I can say to myself, I see you, it's okay to acknowledge that there are times when I'm running, and perhaps you are too, running on empty, where there's no media. Whatever drives us or inspires us or nourishes us is in the moment absent. It's a matter of choice. It's a matter of inserting the media, after all. Acknowledging the invigorating, life-affirming, forward-nudging parts of who we are. And one of the things in the things in a box today is entering payments I've received this past week from homeowners for their annual dues. We're going out to dinner today with good friends, very good friends in our community. I probably won't be able to share much from that because, you know, other people's privacy. It's about a half an hour away from here, but it's our favorite place in southern Delaware to eat. And when they say country cooking, they mean country cooking. This will give you a little bit of an idea what I mean by country cooking. This is their barbecued chicken, their chicken and dumplings, some broiled fish, their ground beef patties with some fried okra, barbecued pulled pork, stuffed soft shell crab, and their crab cakes, their fried shrimp, and now Roger's favorite, their fried chicken. I was going to get a picture of his plate, but this is the best that I got. Yeah, I was also going to get a picture of my favorite thing on their menu, and this is all I got. I go there specifically for their cream of crab soup, which is the best cream of crab soup I have had since we've moved to the shore, and that says a lot because it's a specialty around here. And I do love their grilled pork chops with mashed potatoes, of course. Most restaurants here don't make mashed potatoes, they reconstitute mashed potatoes, which, well, yuck. There's only one thing we don't eat at the Southern Grill, and we won't even step foot in the restaurant in muskrat season. No, I don't really know when muskrat season is, except it's usually in the winter, and it's going on now. And you get a choice whether to have it with or without its head on. Well, now, that's some of the price you pay from going to a true country restaurant. It appears that some of the country folk in southern Delaware love their muskrat. So, to help you erase that image from your mind, let me leave you with the beautiful sunset that was occurring just as we left the restaurant. So that will be my tiny moment by the bay for today, even though it was about 30 miles or so inland.